You've already won half the battle by just starting this race. Not overnight, let's get that straight right from the start, but in due time. Are you ready to start on this great adventure?
I have a YouTube channel I need to keep up with. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name's Free and Poor. So, what have I been up to? Well, first of all, we're in the new house. So we have like several acres of forested land, and we're going to be bringing more training content here soon, and definitely more homestead oriented stuff. Other than that, I have a special video today, courtesy of one of the friends of the channel. Shout out to our friend Preacher. I'm a little bit late to the party with the whole scope switch fiasco, but we got sent a knockoff for free, and we decided we were going to put it through its paces. And it was a lot of fun, and it was actually kind of surprising how well it worked, considering that it was a sixth of the price of a branded Antimatter Industries scope switch. I'm already waiting for the cease and desist letter. So we had this zoom switch to our friend Sycamore Enjoyer. He has a Vortex LPVO, and he went ahead and put it together for us.
How's it going, Pores? Sycamore Enjoyer here. Today, we have something interesting. Newspapers. In tactical, we enjoy. Thank you. It actually said antimatter on it, which is, but then it says the actual brand on the bottom. This is not even centered. Am I gonna have to move my fucking light switch? Yo, this thing is a mess. We'll pretend for the viewer base that I haven't been yelling at this thing and listing my grievances against different minorities in specific terms. Alright. So let's see if this thing works. Nope. It doesn't.
So the installation process was kind of botched a little bit. Not a big deal, whatever. It still essentially did what it said it would do, and we weren't really too worried about fucking it up because, like we said, it was sent to us for free, and on top of that, it wasn't even a legitimate scope switch.
So as you'll see in the install section of this video, I stripped the shit out of these holes that are supposed to hold this down. So that's what secures the cable. So instead, it's just kind of wrapped around one of these bolts here and tightened down 2 or 3 ugga-duggas.
So we get out there and we're running it through its paces, making sure that the magnification is working. During the installation process, something got kind of fucked up. So it was only magnifying up to like 5.5 power or something like that. And then ironically, as you'll see here shortly, after abusing it a little bit, it almost worked itself in. My beef with the scope switch is when you are shooting, you have an intuitive grip on your rifle, right? Exactly how you personally shoot every time. The idea behind the scope switch is to eliminate those fractions of a second that you might take to remove your hand, use your throw lever, and replace your hand. But my issue with that is when you're using a throw lever, you bring your hand back, you know, extend to the magnification that you want, and you return your hand to your intuitive shooting position. But when you're using the scope switch, if you are out here and you decide that you need to shoot at 8x magnification and you drag in your lever, or I can't remember, is it forward, back? I can't remember. Regardless, when you change your position on the handguard, you are no longer in your intuitive shooting position. I'm wondering how negligible the time change is between using a throw lever and sacrificing some of the usability of your rifle because you've changed hand positions. But anyway, it worked as advertised, and that's all we could ask of it, especially at 1/6 the cost of the licensed product. It just seemed like a novelty, you know, and obviously it's already blown over. Nobody gives a shit about it anymore, but it was sold out for several weeks, which is insane to me. And every time you look at a reviewer who was sent the product for free, they always throw in the, if you've ever been playing Call of Duty, you know that whenever you zoom in on your scope, you don't remove your hand to operate the throw lever on a video game. Well, no shit. It just seems very silly to me to pay $600 for a problem to be solved that was never a problem to begin with. Once we decided, okay, yeah, this thing obviously does what it says it does, we figured we would do some dynamic vehicle exit, engage 2 targets, you know, whatever that fucking...
Alright, here's your course of fire. Exit the vehicle with malicious intent. Draw your sidearm, rack the slide on the already chambered sidearm and reholster it. Grab the rifle from the danger side of the vehicle. Chamber around into your already chambered rifle. Engage both targets with 2 rounds each. Do you understand?
This is a throw lever that costs as much as a brand new Glock. You know, more than a Glock. If you don't have fucking night vision before you buy this thing, I have some questions for your preparedness priorities. You can tell a lot about somebody by their kit. It's like ethos. Like, if you look professional, if you are professional, if you act that way, if you know what you're talking about, and you don't try to speak out of your ass, people will take you more seriously. If you run into somebody who's got all the badass LARPerator kit and they're you know, moving around and they're doing their drills and they're doing all the dynamic movements and the fucking, it's like we were poking fun whenever you're doing your room clearing drills. Oh yeah, CQB, dude, CQB. I take issue with all of that shit if you're fat or if you are lacking in other areas of preparedness that otherwise that money could have gone to. The scope switch, kind of a dead meme, but we got our hands on one, and this is not a big enough channel for me to give a fuck about if it's a dead meme or not. Am I allowed to suggest buying a fucking knockoff? I don't know if that's like, it's against like the law or whatever. I don't really give a shit. Yeah, we got it off Alibaba, and it does everything I expect the legitimate one to do. So that's all I'll say about that. So after this testing, we just kind of fucked with it. We burned it, kicked dirt into it, we threw it around. It held 0. I will say that. It was like it was a legitimately sturdy piece of equipment. The actuating lever, or whatever you want to call it, it was it kind of took a little more force than I expected to initially, which is kind of comforting. As Sycamore Enjoyer said, you kind of want that because you want it to hold its magnification level that it's at. You don't want it to just kind of slide around. Ironically, after beating the shit out of it, it started to magnify more. I don't know if we were just working the kinks out, but the pulley system had a little bit of slack in it, and after we got done beating the shit out of it, it had kind of tightened up a little bit, and we actually got, instead of 1 to 5.5 magnification, we started to get 1 to 7 magnification, which is still one off. It wasn't completely actuating, but it was better than nothing.
I think this belongs here.
What you want to do is lube it up here because it's so difficult to move. You actually want lube to keep your hand there. So what you're going to want to do there is just get a little bit of that CLP, work it in, make a nice mud out of the dirt after you throw it around. And yeah, this is fucking awesome. It's actually a lot better now.
So look, it's almost up to 8 now.
Well, that's just because I'm slamming it. Oh shit. Are we working the kinks out of this fucking thing?
Yeah.
Is this almost a functional product?
All right. Sycamore ran the drill 2 times. And
That was a good draw.
it was. What do you think of the use case? Like, do you see anything wrong right off the bat just after using it these couple times?
It's difficult to move if you're not standing up and have your thumb. Like if you're prone or supported and your hands aren't at that same angle that you get your normal C-clamp, it's difficult to move that. It's difficult to move the switch.
Right. So as far as iBox, we were talking about it off camera. You said something to the degree of your iBox getting smaller as the magnification goes up. It gets a little more difficult because the idea behind the switch is you don't have to move your head, right? You don't have to change your angles or anything.
Yeah.
So
and you keep both hands on the gun, which sounds ideal until.
And that kind of became an issue.
It is an issue because when you have that cheek weld where you like it for 1X, it's probably not going to be the same cheek weld that you would have at 6 or 8.
Right.
Because it's just how scopes work. Your image in that window is going to shrink, and you're going to have to take your head back,
right,
in order to get the full window, get that full sight picture.
Yeah, work it in there, dude.
It's doing about. No, we lost about 1 power. We're at about 4.7-ish. Yo.
Can you blow it out?
I got a knife.
Well, it just seems like really fragile. Like, what about
Oh, well,
here to lose one of these cables?
what you do with those
Oh, God.
is you just go in there and you cut them. Look at all that. I think that's chili mac on there from my grabbing my pen. I'm telling you, man, white people do not season their scope switches.
Final thoughts. It's fucking silly, but if you want one, there are cheaper versions out there. Again, we are out at the new property. Very excited to start this homestead style content. Very excited to show everybody around the property, get a shooting range set up so that we can get some more training type stuff going on. Sorry it's been such a hiatus. Things have been a little bit hectic, but I am finally settled in and I am excited to bring you guys new content. So thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Shout out to our friend Preacher. You are the man for sending that to us. It was a fucking blast getting out there with Sycamore Enjoyer and my buddy Plain Spook. Daniel. Daniel, back at it with the same redheads you've been wearing for 3 years.